Hey guys, Matty here from DCLblogger.com. Another NFT update for the week video. A lot of really cool things happening in the NFT space. So let's get right into it and kind of cover what we have come across. So first of all, we have this. I just literally found out an hour ago, but it was really damn interesting. So I thought it would be the first thing I would cover. CryptoKitties is doing a bit of an experiment where they are kind of wrapping the floor kitties. So you have the ability to bundle up and wrap your floor CryptoKitties or any CryptoKitties that you want, and then trade your CryptoKitty for a WCK token on a 1-to-1 ratio. So say you have like 10,000 CryptoKitties that, one, you can't be bothered listing on the marketplace, and two, they probably won't sell for much anyway because there's just so many of them. So you can now wrap these and sell and trade them 1-to-1 and use those WCK tokens to trade for other CryptoKitties, which are exclusive. Or you could use them for other prizes and games and other things. And they're kind of experimenting with the idea at the moment. And if you check this out, so wrapped kitties, ERC20 tokens, each backed one by one by an ERC721 CryptoKitty. So basically, one CryptoKitty will give you one WCK token, which is an ERC20 token, right? And if you check this out, view kitties. So these are all the kitties that have so far been traded in for a WCK token. It's quite a lot. I think I read 3,000 somewhere. Yes, 3,185. And so now the person that traded these kitties in, they have the WCK token that they can use, which is still kind of being announced, like what you can actually do with it. So enter the ID, blah, blah, blah. Welcome to the prize wall where we will list special cats for sale for wrapped kitties tokens. So it's a very interesting way to utilize or make, if you have thousands of floor kitties that aren't really worth much, you can actually do something with them. And this is a problem that I think a lot of blockchain games face that have, it's a very interesting and delicate balance that you have with keeping supply limited, but keeping gameplay active for newcomers so that they can not pay to win, but they can get involved. But in getting involved, they release more NFT tokens into the supply, which diminishes the price overall of the ecosystem per NFT, right? So there's a delicate balance that I guess blockchain games are kind of experimenting to figure out what is the best thing. How do we keep things exclusive? How do we keep releasing new NFTs for new people, new investors into the game, or new players into the game to be excited about? And this is a really great experiment to see if there is a solution that we can implement at the moment. So that's that. Another idea would be, like, for example, for Decentraland, right? Now, each land is a minimum of like $500, so about 9,000 to 10,000 mana. And a lot of people don't want to pay that much money, and it's understandable. But considering there's only like 45,000 lands in the whole Genesis City, in terms of private lands, it's really just based on supply and demand. No one's really willing to sell it for cheaper than, say, 8.5 or 8,000 mana, right? But what you might be able to do sometime in the future is break up your land in pieces and maybe invest with other people. Maybe that part of the contract might be there. And this is something we have to explore for NFTs. Kind of shared ownership and all kinds of things. So that's CryptoKitties for you. A very interesting thing going on in that space. Now, Gods Unchained, if you don't know what it is, a really fun looking card game, basically based on Hearthstone. Very similar to Hearthstone, to be honest. But it looks pretty damn fluid, pretty cool, and it's one of my biggest NFT investments. Not by much, to be honest. I probably invest like 10 to 15 ETH. I don't really invest in anything unless it's an active marketplace that has a lot of volume and a lot of high asset tradable cards. So you can make money trading, you can invest, you can actually see what's going on with the history, and you can verify that there is volume and interest in the game. When it comes to pre-sales, everyone gets excited, so there's really not much to get excited about if a pre-sale does well. It's all about after and seeing how the marketplace reacts. So Gods Unchained is very cool in the sense that there's a lot of people invested in the game. It's backed by Coinbase, and there's a lot of stuff. The card game just looks really cool. So Perks, one of the admins, came in, had a chat with him on our general chat in the NFT Moneymakers Discord. If you haven't joined it yet, I'll put the link in description. But basically, he's mentioned that we are roughly 3 months away from the end of the pre-sale. How cool is that? This pre-sale has been going on for such a long time, almost a year, and it really needs to end. And I was excited about it because there's just so much, like if the set that you can invest into now, the Genesis set, once they end the pre-sale, they're not going to be selling these cards anymore. So it's going to be limited to those that invested during the pre-sale. And I was hoping the supply of that wouldn't be too much, but considering that they've held on for, they've gone for a good year, and they raised a lot of ETH. I think they're more than halfway there, so maybe like 18,000 Ethereum plus, maybe around that mark, raised so far. But in terms of the marketplace, I'm excited for the marketplace to open up, because there should be a market for these diamonds and golds, and all cards have a use case. Even if you get these like commons, and I've got like 5,000 cards or something, or 3,000 cards, commons, which are really, really cheap, probably the worst in terms of scarcity. They have a use. You can combine 5 of them to upgrade them into a shadow. You can combine 5 shadows to upgrade them into a gold. You can combine 5 golds to upgrade into a diamond. And obviously a diamond is much more rarer than commons. So they all have a use case. And we're very excited to see what happens in the marketplace. All kinds of experiments happening in the NFT world, which are important for the overall NFT ecosystem. Because as we learn off what works for each other, we can all grow and make better games. Decentraland. What the hell's going on with Decentraland? So, marketplace floor price is probably, I'd say, about 8.5 to 9,000 mana. Anything under 9,000 mana gets picked up within half a day at max. It used to be anything under 10,000, so anything 9,500 and below. You can't really say that prices are falling, because at any given time, someone can just come in and buy all of these 10, and suddenly you're back up to 10,000 mana, right? But you can say that the amount of demand has kind of slowed down a little bit, probably because people are just waiting for the launch to see if all of this checks out before investing any more money. The whole crypto space is kind of all eyes on altcoins and Bitcoin at the moment, on actual, ERC20, actual tokens, because that's where all the fun's going on. Bitcoin's gone up from like 3,000 to 8,000. It's breaking 8,000 as I speak. I think it's at 8,100 or maybe 8,200 by now. So all eyes on that. Like, people are moving their funds from the NFT space back to there, because they want to capitalize on this growth and join the bull run per se. So it's interesting what's going on. We should be not too far away from the beta, guys. I say that because the recent announcements have kind of touched on the fact that, as we get closer to the launch of Decentraland, we want you to fill Genesis City with awesome content. So this was announced very recently, I think like 6 hours ago, and they're offering a 100 mana reward for every quality build using the Decentraland builder. 100 mana is like, I don't know, $6 or something. So, if you do 10 builds for the day, it could be $60. I mean, that's pretty decent money. That's pretty decent money for like 10 quality scenes. Might take you a few hours or something. I might actually do it. So there's a bit of a prize pool for that. So, they're pushing people to build content, because I feel like they're going to launch soon. So they've had that. They've had the news about the avatars. They've released the fact that we can now add NFT frames, such as these specific ones at the moment, onto our builds, which is cool, because it somehow gets those communities involved as well. And you can, hopefully this is going to expand from frames to actually 3D models. That would be really cool, to kind of have your Axies floating around your house or your mansion. That would be pretty sick. Or, in a museum, you can have the actual life-size versions of these. But that'll be cool to see. But Decentraland shouldn't be far away. I think in somewhere I read that they should be announcing the avatars very soon. I think on the 17th of this month. So that'll be kind of crazy, because your avatar has a name, and each name is each name is tracked on the blockchain and is unique. So there's going to be a bit of a hype around everyone running in there to grab their names, because if you think about it, Hercules, for example, there'll only be one of that name. If you think of like, even just names like John, there'll only be one John, because you can't duplicate on the name. So I think maybe people will jump in and try and grab all these names, and there might be a marketplace and buying and selling names, just like domain names. It's a very big market for buying and selling domain names. So that'll be interesting to watch what happens. Battle races. So they're Pre-sale ended, and they just recently, I think 4 or 5 days ago, maybe just last week, they held their crate sale for the Axie Infinity themed crates, which kind of look really cool. Themed cars. There was a common, rare, and epic version, I believe, and there was only 150 crates that you could buy, and each crate had 4 parts, so 600 parts, but they were really cheap. There were only 0.1 Ethereum per crate. Considering that the supply is so damn low, and the demand is actually pretty high, because that's a lot of people from Axie Infinity obviously very interested in this, and the NFT space. It was definitely an easy buy, but they had also limited it to 1 person per crate, so 1 Ethereum wallet per crate. I managed to get 1, and I'm very excited to see the marketplace open up, because it's definitely going to be worth more than 0.1 Ethereum for the 4 parts. And this is the kind of investments I'll look at that I will happily invest into the pre-sale, where the supply is limited. And I'll go through another example which Axie Infinity did very well to kind of show that. But just touching upon battle races, they've done really, really well. Kind of finished their pre-sale within 7 minutes. They were sold out. And a lot of people missed out, but if you were there, I kind of just found out about it because I was just browsing the internet. I completely forgot about it, and someone just mentioned it somewhere, and I ran really quickly to the pre-sale, got a pack, and with a couple of minutes to spare, so I got really lucky. But so yeah, I have 4 parts that are Axie Infinity themed. This one, this one, this one, this one. Got commons, so it wasn't that lucky, but I'm happy to get a crate nonetheless. Got 2 of these, so I can obviously trade this for a body, and have that, or maybe even mix them with some other cars, but that's pretty cool. Now, Axie Infinity Marketplace, they have been doing some good volume, but I wanted to touch on this just to show how, from an investment perspective, what is very interesting to me, because Axie Infinity held their land pre-sale. It's been, I think, maybe 4 or 5 months now. Don't quote me on that, but it's been a while. And you can see that there was 4 different chests you could get. Each one came with a land in a specific location, along with 10 items based on the rarity, based on the type of chest that you got. Okay. Now, Savannah chest, you can see, was 0.05 Ethereum each. That gave you 1 land in the Savannah. I'll kind of show you my inventory to show you what that looks like. Yeah, you get 1 piece of land in the Savannah area and 10 items, right? Now, there was 0.05 Ethereum. They're all sold out because there's 0 left. I had 5,349. All of them were sold out. So you could buy a Savannah in sets of, say, 125 or 1, and I pretty much jumped in, bought 100 sets straight away, because larger connected parcels are always, in my opinion, more valuable, because people obviously want to cluster and build big things, right? So there was that. And the interesting thing is, now, if you were to go to the marketplace, because it's sold out, right? You can't buy these anymore. If you go to the marketplace, the cheapest one of the Savannah type is 0.065 Ethereum. So you're already at a profit, or above floor prices. And I think there was a lot more, 0.06. They've all been bought up by now. But even if you do sell them at 0.05 Ethereum back on the marketplace, you still have 10 items that you got in profit, and you can sell them on a different marketplace. So that was a really good way how people made some money. And also Mystic chests, they were 1 Ethereum each. I think they would have probably been the better buy, because even the Mystic chests now, the cheapest one you can get is pretty much 1 Ethereum. Maybe it goes down to 0.9 Ethereum, that gets picked up pretty quickly. But hey, if you can get your 1 Ethereum back and get 10 items free, which maybe some will be mystic and rare, and who knows what kind of, even those have a market. If you look here, if you go back to the, if you go back to the marketplace, and I go items, and I choose mystic, the mystic items themselves have a floor price of 0.15 Ethereum. So let's just say in the worst case scenario, it might even be 0.1 Ethereum. Say every mystic chest might give you 1 or 2, what is it actually? 1 mystic chest, at least 1 mystic. So you would have got a value of 0.9 Ethereum for the mystic chest, at least, and 0.15 Ethereum for the one mystic item at least, and on top of that you had chances of getting other better mystic items, other more items in general, and yeah, you would have definitely made some profit. So that's a really good way to see how the model and the scarcity, the fact that everything sold out, and now that proved that demand was high, supply was low. So when the secondary market opened up, these were automatically priced more than what you bought them for. And other than having a very long pre-sale, like if you go to Arctic chests, they're probably the cheapest. Like if you buy an Arctic chest for 0.45 Ethereum, you're not going to be able to get that back, because there's Arctic chests selling for about 0.25, 0.28 Ethereum. So in that sense, like it really proves to me to look for pre-sales that don't have an unlimited supply, that will cap it at a certain point, don't have really, really long, stupid pre-sales that doesn't kind of out skew towards increasing the supply too much. It has to balance out the demand, at least at the current stages, and go from there. But that was interesting to watch. Any Axie people, if you want to trade my lands, let me know. I've got a bunch of lands all over the place because of mystics. This is probably my coolest piece. Got a set connected to the river, got a set connected very close to this middle pink thing, and a big 100 Savannah set, so that's interesting. Alright, so these guys did an interview with me, really, really cool. A couple of blokes, the block runner. It was a lot of fun. We talked a lot about what Decentraland is, the history of Decentraland, prices, where it all formed, the opportunities that were there before, how to capitalize on it now, the future, the investment potential that might be coming up with the rental, all kinds of things. So what you can do in Decentraland, content ideas, all kinds of stuff. I think it went for about an hour and a half or something. It was really cool. Go to theblockrunner.com/podcast and you should see mine. I think it's the most recent one. It was definitely a lot of fun. I'll do it again in a heartbeat. So there was that. Hack Crypto, if you haven't seen him, he's an influencer, I believe, with quite a lot of followers, but he'll be doing an NFT series, going through all of this stuff, all of these games, and talking about NFTs. So if you want to run down on each NFT, go for it. This is big news. So Star Trek coming to blockchain, and this is a theme that I'm seeing with a lot of other kind of franchises and bigger brands out there. So like Formula One, you have Star Trek, you have MLB Crypto. They're kind of experimenting with a small idea, and Star Trek have done something really smart where they have allowed Crypto Space Commanders. If you're not familiar with the game, very cool game, built by Lucid Site, but basically they're going to be holding some sort of sale where the items that you can buy will be representative of the Star Trek ships, I believe. So in that case, it'll be interesting to see what happens. I do think this will have a lot of value because, I mean, Star Trek is Star Trek, right? It is a brand that's known, and these are the first NFTs in the Star Trek franchise. So, I mean, depending on how many parts will be available, this is something that I will probably invest in, just because, if there's a cap on it and you have some really good Star Trek ships, you could have something very special. And for me right now, NFTs are very interesting to get to invest in, because it's just such a big hurdle to invest in them for the common person. If I told my friend down the road to invest in this, he's going to ask me 100 questions in how to download MetaMask, how to get Ethereum, what is Bitcoin, on all these kind of things. And until he actually invests in the pre-sale, it's a lot to do. So a lot of people are quite lazy. They don't do it. So we are, if you're investing in NFTs, if you're probably watching this video, a very small pool of people of something that will probably be very big. And as the hurdles and the barriers get lifted and things become easier to invest in, then what we as early investors were able to buy should, if these games become successful, the demand should increase, which means our investment should increase and gameplay will increase, and you'll be, probably a top player because you were able to invest early and capitalize on this all early. So that's just talking about NFT in general. Chain Breakers crowd sale officially ended, I think, about a week ago. What was the date on this? Okay, don't know. But very recently they ended up their pre-sale, and they are a game opening up on Decentraland initially, and they said that they raised 2.4 million mana. Pretty damn cool. That is quite a lot of money, 130 US dollars, 130,000 US dollars for just the pre-sale part of the game, and they're looking great. It'll be very interesting to see what they'll kind of look like in Decentraland. If you hold land, you can hold quests. So if you have a 2x2 space of land, then you can hold quests on your land and get part of the prize pool. So it's going to be very cool to see how it all kind of pans out, as these guys were the first people to hold you can call it a pre-sale or an ICO or a, what do you call it? I guess a pre-sale where mana was the primary token. So it wasn't an Ethereum-based pre-sale, it was a mana-based pre-sale, and it was cool to see that they were able to raise quite a decent amount of money. I mean, yeah, it's 130,000 US dollars at the moment, but 2.4 million mana was for a very long time 10 cents each, so 240,000 US dollars. Who knows what that will become, but that was great to see. That's about it, guys. I didn't want to cover too much because then it just gets really boring, but a lot of things are happening. By the time we actually see some gameplay, I think it'll be either at the very later stages of this year, which will tie in very well with hopefully Bitcoin making some serious moves to the upside, which it seems to be doing at the moment, because the halvening's coming very soon. And my experience with halvenings, with Litecoin and Bitcoin and all those kind of things where people get excited about, is that there is a bit of the majority of the bull run happens at the early stages upon the news and the hype that something's, the halvening's happening. But when the halvening actually does happen, that's actually when prices go down, or at least don't really move. So it'll be interesting to see, because I do think we'll have some sort of a bull run up till around that date. So what that does to the NFT market, if that brings a lot of new money in, a lot of new eyeballs in, learning about games and spreading their money across different NFT platforms, it'll be interesting. So that's about it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please share it, and I'll see you guys in another video.